So I thought today would be a fantastic opportunity for us to go through everywhere that we have been so far on our journey, chat through why we have our sustainability webinars at all, and talk about all the great people that we've met, just to kind of remind ourselves of how much learning we've actually completed so far this year, and then to throw it back out to you for all the different things that you have managed to put in place in your own reduction for your carbon footprint, so that we can share best practice across everybody on the call and hopefully get some really good ideas. So GC's mission, as everyone knows, is to leave the world in a better place than we found it. And your mission today is to try to reduce your carbon footprint. So hopefully some of the things that you've taken away from the sustainability webinars so far this year have given you opportunities to try new things, put new things in place. And it would be great if you wanted to sort of share those as we go through, either pop them in the chat or please put your hand up and reach out if you wanted to. So I thought we'd just kind of remind ourselves of the things that we have done so far this year. And the list is long and is fantastic. So we've had lots of people from inside GC giving us some wonderful webinars around the Big Bird Watch, around some social value, around our zero spend, about volunteering. We had our grads delivering around inspirational sustainability champions. And then obviously we've had our external speakers as well. We had Chris come in from Wildfell. We had the Bee Conservation Society and the Wildfowl and Wetland Trust came and chatted to us. We chatted as well with our fabulous Sammy, who I know everyone really enjoyed that session when she was talking about how she has managed to create a social enterprise that's now building those wonderful wildlife and bird care houses and things that we can all use, not only in GC, but also in our own lives. So just to recap, why are we here today? So it's 50 years of ground control this year, a celebration. And as part of that, because of that mission statement of wanting to leave the world in a better place than we found it, we wanted to put something in place that everybody can share to really enjoy what we're doing moving forwards from a sustainability perspective. So we've put our heads together and we've had the Evercare team who sort of help and direct the sense of travel across the business and come up with ideas and share your ideas to the wider audience. And there were 7 habits of sustainability that we thought would really benefit everybody across the piece to be able to help them to look at 1 or 2 different ways that they could change the way that they live their lives to help reduce that carbon footprint. So they were avoiding single-use items, having smarter transport, making smarter choices on what we eat, using our resources wisely, greening our finances, connecting with nature and getting involved to give back and volunteer. And we know already that some of the benefits that are part of our package as being GCers is that we get the Cycle to Work scheme. We have the opportunity to be part of the Octopus EV leasing scheme for an electric car. And obviously we get the electric renewable energy through Octopus. If we sign up with them, we get money back for the business as well as for us. And then we've got volunteering, and then there's matched fundraising. So those are all the great things that we have in place already. And it'll be interesting to hear what you have been doing on those 7 habits to change the way that you view what you do in your daily lives. So just going through them quickly, we've got the avoiding single-use items. So we know that producing 4 500ml plastic bottles is the same amount of greenhouse gas as travelling a mile by car. So being able to get rid of single-use plastic is a massive bonus and a benefit to everybody that's going to have the planet. And obviously it doesn't decompose. So hopefully everyone will have stopped using plastic straws by now. I know they've stopped serving them in pubs and restaurants by now, and purchase a reusable stainless steel or a glass straw, or just drink it. Don't go away with the straw. Buying boxes instead of bottles, using reusable bottles or mugs for beverages when you're traveling, asking your greengrocer to take your plastic containers back so they can refill them, replaceable blades instead of a disposable razor, and stop using plastic bags. So a single plastic bag can take 1,000 years to degrade. So the more we make sure we don't use plastic bags, the better. Purchasing food by bulk bins and using reusable bags or containers to bring them home. Taking your own container to a restaurant for your doggy bag if anything's left. It's never left when I go into a restaurant, but just in case. Making freshly squeezed juice or eating fruit instead of buying juice in plastic bottles. And then if your lunch is a reusable container and bag, and opt for fresh fruit and veggies for bulk items instead of single servings in cups. Giving up gum. So anyone who's a chewing gum chewer, hopefully you will have stopped that by now, because as we know, gum is made of a synthetic rubber. So you're actually chewing a mouthful of plastic for anyone who's a gum chewer. And reusing your storage leftovers and shopping in bulk. So avoiding buying frozen foods because the packaging, and then they actually have a cardboard with a thin layer of plastic on them. And then making your own cleaning products, and then ditching plastic bottles that shower gel, and buy more sustainable products in that way. So would anyone like to give a shout out for something that they have managed to put in place in their own lives that's avoiding some of the single plastic? I can't see hands because I'm on a single screen. So if anybody wanted to shout out, please just feel free to shout straight away.
Washing liquid instead of using the plastic capsules, now doing the pour it into the pot.
Brilliant. Thanks, Heather. So that's a real win. So we've had one person who's picked up on that already. So that's fantastic. And it's the little things that will make a difference. So every little thing that every person does, if we do it collectively, it will make a massive difference. Fabulous. There's smarter travel. As we know, it's one of the biggest emitters of greenhouse gases. So trying to reduce getting around and being lighter with our footprint around that can have a big impact. So walk or wheel if you're a wheelchair user, improving your health, getting social, saving money, cycling to reduce congestion and air pollution, and use your GC benefits to buy a new bike if you need one. Reducing CO2 emissions by up to 40% if you use the bus, and 79% using the train. So I know a lot of people here in the office today, I'm in London today, come in by train, which is fantastic because it keeps the car at home, and it means that we're reducing those carbon emissions as we come here. Electric vehicles, so a full charge of a pure EV can give a typical range of 200 miles, which is as little as £8 to £12. And obviously we can use the GC benefits to lease an EV through Octopus if we wanted to. So anyone who is interested in doing that or hasn't yet done so, please make sure you go onto the portal and have a look with Octopus to see what you can do moving forwards. If you live near someone else who works either in Billericay or near to where you're working, you can lift share, get social, catch up, chat on the journey, and reduce your carbon footprint. And then obviously there's efficient driving. So there's around, correcting your tire pressure and avoiding excessive speeds even, and braking to get the most out of your mileage on your car. Has anyone on the call done any of the GC benefits around having an EV through Octopus? Or has anyone had the Cycle to Work scheme?
I've got a car through Octopus, Justine.
Fantastic, thanks, Liz. And has that been an easy process?
Yeah, really easy. Actually, it took a little while to get delivered, but it's really easy in the charge point as such. And obviously, you got the free charging at the office.
Brilliant.
So I don't miss having to fill up for petrol.
I bet you don't, especially not with the cost now. So that's fun. And how far do you get on your range on your car roughly? Is it pretty good?
Yeah, mine's just over 200, just over 200 miles. I've done a couple of long journeys and obviously stopped to charge, but most of the time I will admit it's a lot easier to use it for short journeys. It hasn't got the range as a Tesla has on it. So but yeah, we'll test it out when I do a long journey.
Brilliant.
But I've downloaded Zap Maps as well, so that helps when you're planning to find out where the fast chargers are as such.
Yeah, good stuff. And obviously with the all of the new infrastructure that is going in across the UK, including GCs putting in the chargers, obviously the more chargers we get out there, the better it'll be for everybody to be able to just pop down as if we did to a normal petrol station. So fab, thanks for sharing that, Liz.
No problem.
So smarter choices on what you eat. Adopt a plant-based diet. Our water footprint in the UK is 2,500 litres per person per day, which is enormous. So switching to a vegetarian diet can reduce that by 35%, and drinking a glass of cow's milk every day for a year is the equivalent of driving a car for 600 miles because of the output from that. Eat with the seasons. So it's something that I do because I really love eating with the seasons apart from anything else. I like the freshness of the fruit and veg, but really great to do that, and obviously growing organically where possible. And then if you buy from your local producers, obviously it reduces the travel footprint. and look at your food waste. So plan your shopping to reduce your food waste by 20%. And I think that one, particularly for our pockets at the moment, is particularly relevant. You know, put your meal plan in place if you can before you go to the shops, so that you only buy what you need and you're not wasting anything. And anything that is left over, freeze it so you can use it next time round. Using our resources wisely, you know, complete a home audit and see what you can change. So, you know, turn off the tap while you're brushing your teeth. Really easy to do, but saves so much water. Boiling your kettle on only the amount that you need will save on your energy. Turning off your computers, TVs, electrical stuff. Don't leave them on standby. And obviously use a water efficient shower head, which lots of companies will get for you. And we had Octopus Energy with us, who gave us all those fantastic ideas as to how we can make sure that that makes life much easier for us and better on our pocket, as well as better for the environment. Has anybody managed to green their finances? Now, this is still on my list to do. I haven't yet done this, but I'm still interested. Has anyone gone down the road of going with an ethical bank like Starling or Triodos? Not yet. So maybe that's something that we, as a team, I'll perhaps look at reaching out to somebody from one of the banks that's ethical banking, and maybe we could get them to bring their sustainability person in to do a webinar and have a chat about what the opportunities are and what the impact is. Because I do know that if we invest our money in ethical investment, the impact is much greater than any of our other savings. So I think that's one that is probably a little bit more complex and needs some real insight into understanding how it all works, but it would be good to understand a bit more. So I'll pop that on my list for everyone. And then connecting with nature. So seeking out green spaces, you know, relax and mindfulness, interacting with the wildlife, creativity, so taking up photography or painting in that outside environment, and gardening, conservation and farming. I know there are probably lots of people on the call who do all sorts of different stuff. So if you're brave enough to share how you like to interact with nature, please do speak up and let us know how you spend your spare time outside.
I haven't done anything yet, Justine, but my my garden's a bit of a project at the minute. So I'm going to start planting up my beds next year. But I'm going to make sure that I'm planting plants that are good for the bumblebees and the butterflies, going to introduce some bug hotels, etc. So
wonderful stuff. So I, this year, planted up just wild seeds. So threw a load of wild seed bombs into the garden, and I had an absolute garden full of butterflies last month. It was just covered in butterflies. It was glorious. It was a bit like walking into a fairy garden in the evenings. It was really lovely. So I very much recommend, if you can get some wildflowers growing and get those insects through and increase your biodiversity, it will benefit not just them, but you from a mindfulness and from a mental health, positive mental health perspective. It's a really lovely thing to do.
I've done similar as well. Justine created a little wildflower, and it's it's beautiful because every week there's different flowers. Even now, keep popping up. So it's been really nice. And you say the increase in insects has been incredible.
Wonderful. And it's the surprise, Sophie, isn't it? Well, you're never quite sure what's coming up, so it's always exciting to see what arrives and what that brings in.
It's great.
Yeah. Wonderful, fantastic. So moving on, we've got the getting involved, so giving back and volunteering. So it's around, you know, protecting public spaces, supporting a cause, sharing resource, and looking at the big picture. So I know that we've really encouraged everybody across the piece to do more volunteering. So is anyone on the call that has done some volunteering through ground control this year, or is booked to do some volunteering through ground control?
I did a housing event for Clarion Housing a little while ago. Myself and the account manager and Amanda Manning went up, and we done obviously, we done the wildflower seed bombs that Ground Control provided, and did some bird feeders with the kids. It was just an interactive to bring the community together.
Brilliant stuff. And was it a good day, Liz?
Yes, it was. Yeah. It started, obviously the planning wasn't great, but once obviously we knew what we were doing, it was it was a really good day. Yeah.
Fabulous. Thank you for sharing. Is there anyone else that's been volunteering on the call? And maybe not through GC, but through volunteering in their own time outside of GC? Not yet. Okay, so if you haven't used up your volunteering days, don't forget that you get 2 volunteering days with GC as part of your benefits. It's part of your package, so it's something that you're entitled to. So make sure that you use it. So it's so good for you. It's so good for your mental health. It's so good for the community and the cause that you're supporting. And so find something that's close to your heart, something that you love, something that you can make a difference in and that you're passionate about, and go and spend the day and enjoy doing it, and then feed back to us and make sure that we know what it is that you've been doing to volunteer to in your local community. That would be great. Thank you. So last year, our GC benefits, we completed 448 hours of volunteering and we raised £12,105 in matched funding. We have our Evercare meeting this coming week. So we're going to get an update then on where we are this year compared to last year. And hopefully we'll be able to come back to you on the next call and let you know exactly where we are, if we're ahead, if we're trying to catch up. And then we can start encouraging people to really go out and do some volunteering and the matched funding. So for anyone who hasn't done the matched funding before, if you raise money for charity, and you let GC know, we will match fund it to the value of £500. So if you raise £500 for a charity of your choice, GC will add another £500 to that. So you can give your charity £1,000. It's a really quick win for your charity. It's a really quick win for you for all your hard work that you've put in for fundraising in the first place, and everybody benefits from it. So please do make sure that you let us know if you've done anything around that space. So these are just some of the benefits that we have. So we've got the Cycle to Work scheme, as we've said, the Octopus EV car leasing, and Octopus Renewable Energy. And then you've got your volunteering and your matched funding. This website in the middle is the World Wildlife Fund Carbon Footprint Calculator. So if you haven't done yet, you can go on through that link and you can fill out the questionnaire, and it will tell you what your carbon footprint is. So it will give you a space now. And I know everybody on the call was encouraged to do it when we first started out in January. And I think now would be a really good time to go back in and just see if you've managed to reduce your carbon footprint at all. And then on next week's call, maybe we could discuss where everyone is, if they've made some wins, if they've got some catching up to do, or if they've got plans in place that will help them reduce their own personal carbon footprint. So I'm just going to stop sharing my screen and come back to see you. Bear with me. Hopefully I can see everybody again. So would anyone like to share something that they have taken away from a particular session that we had, or someone that really impressed them that gave one of the webinars? We've had a huge variety of things that we've all learnt about and shared and understood. So it'd be really good to see what your takeaways were and what your favourites were, so that we can kind of look at how we manage that moving forward to maybe get you some more information along those lines that were of interest. So I'm going to share my favourite for now until anyone else wants to share. So I loved listening to Sammy. So Sammy, for me, was she was just so passionate and so amazing at what she did, and obviously having challenges herself from a background of coming from an autistic background. For her to be able to put in place what she did to help other people who are on the autistic spectrum was just amazing. And the fact that she's doing something around the environment and building such quality, fantastic products, I think she's the whole package. So I was so impressed when she came in to speak to us, and she did it so eloquently and so passionately that it's one that I've taken away and taken to heart. And I've actually ordered one of her fantastic birdhouses with the cameras inside. So I've got that to come to put up this winter once the garden's all cleared back. So what about anyone else on the call? Which were the ones of the sessions that you enjoyed the most?
I just think, yeah, I mean, I agree. Yeah, I think Sammy's always great to talk to and listen to, and her passions are amazing. So I thought that was a really good session. I think one of the facts that really stood out for me, although I can't remember the exact details, but was the amount of the amount of our returns from fashion when we buy things online, that then the majority of that just ends up going to landfill. So if you buy anything online and send it back because it doesn't fit, although it's perfectly good, it just goes to landfill. And that for me was just, yeah, shocking and appalling. Luckily, I don't buy a huge amount online, clothes-wise, but yeah, it did make me sort of think that that's something I would avoid doing in the future.
So maybe go to the size guides and check that everything's what you think it might be before you order, and hopefully,
Yeah.
I know some of the online tools now have kind of, they can picture you in the outfit, which I think is really good as well, because not everything suits everybody, does it? So that's always a useful tool to use. But it was a shocking figure when Sophie was talking about it. Absolutely. Anyone else? What was the biggest takeaway for you so far? Just going to go into the chat to see if anybody's popped in something in there for me. Let's have a look. There you go. So Bevan's just chatting about doing some volunteering. So he was part of a team who took disadvantaged kids away for a weekend during the summer holidays. That's a great thing to do. What a lovely thing to do. Hopefully you had good weather for it, Bevan. I'm fingers crossed for you for that one. And then from Scott, we had not volunteering through GC, but have coordinated a fleet of wagons being loaded and dispatched to the Ukraine. So a fantastic cause, obviously ongoing, tragic, horrendous, and hopefully will come to an end soon. So a really great thing to do. So well done, Scott. And then Octopus came and fitted a smart gas meters at the home yesterday, Jamie. How did that go, Jamie? All went well, hopefully? You may have dropped off, Jamie, not be able to hear us, but yeah, so all good, excellent. Okay, so fantastic. So looking forward to some clean energy moving forward, and hopefully cheaper, smarter energy as well. So it'll help you keep an eye on what you're using as we go forward. Does anyone have any questions that they wanted to ask about any of the benefits that we have in GC that are sustainability kind of focused, that you're not sure about, or that you'd like more information on, or if there's something that you'd like to learn through the webinars, if you pop it into the chat, and then we can take that away and have a discussion at the Evercare meeting this week, and reach out to some people that would get you the information from external speakers to help you understand what you're interested in. Okay, nothing coming through so far. So I will let you update the chat if you want to. When we come offline, obviously you've got the meeting, you've got the chat session in your Teams area. So please do go in and fill in anything that you wanted to. If there's anything that you thought you might like to bring up, then please do. And we will be back again next week, starting off again with our new external speakers, and moving through until Christmas with some great and interesting sustainability things to. Oh, what was that one? Does the cycle to cover EV super bikes? I don't think so at this point in time, but I will take that away and we can have a little discussion on that and see whether that's an opportunity for the future. Scott, is that what you would like to have, an EV super bike? Is this to race around a track or just to thrash around the back roads? Or we shouldn't ask. Maybe it's not the question to ask. No speeding, please, Scott. Nice and slow. A slow super bike would be useful. I know Sophie's a keen biker as well, so she's probably got her eye on those too, I think. Yeah. 800 bikes, 8,000 watt super bike on the wish list. Okay, do they exist yet? Are they in production, or are they still waiting to be produced? Maybe we'll see if we can get a manufacturer to come and have a chat with you about how that happens and how the evolution for the EV bikes is happening. Available now. Okay, well, let's see what we can do. Let's have a chat and see if we can get somebody to come and have a chat about them. Cool. All right then, ladies and gents, thank you very much for your time today. As I said, a quick recap today for all the great stuff that we've been through, and just to remind us of all the little things that we can do to make changes that will make a big change collectively. And we will be back next week to start off again with a whole new series from new people and all the different stuff that we can do to help save our planet. Wonderful. Thanks then, ladies and gents. See you soon. Bye.